Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Module 3 of EDU 680 Professional Learning in Schools. I am Anita Stewart McCafferty, faculty with Educational Leadership at the University of Southern Maine, and I'm excited to walk you through Module 3. I hope you have been enjoying this course so far, and Module 2 had us really diving into adult learning and thinking about the theories and approaches and principles of adult learning that were similar to student learning and those that were distinct. And I really appreciate the work that you did. Your graphic organizers, your visuals on the discussion board were tremendous. And so I really appreciate that. And I've enjoyed thinking about and seeing your interactions with one another about professional development and the idea of adult learning. This week, we're going to turn our attention to learning designs in Module 3. So really thinking about the way that we design professional learning for adult learners. So keeping what we have had in mind from Module 1, where we looked at our own experiences and those of our colleagues, and compare those to some of the standards that are put forward by Learning Forward about high quality professional learning, and then thinking about what we know about the adult learner, and then really looking at all of the variety of approaches that we could take to designing professional learning for our faculty and for our staffs. So our guiding questions for this module are as follows. What are the varied learning design approaches that can be used for professional learning? What learning approaches work well and for whom? How does one effectively plan professional learning opportunities for educators using various learning designs? So one of the things that I know as somebody who has designed a lot of professional development in my time is that sometimes you get stuck in a rut. So you have a particular learning design and that's the design that you use over and over again. So we really want to think about through this module all of the various approaches, and some of them are going to be synchronous. So they're happening face to face or at the same time. Some of them are going to be asynchronous, where they don't have to happen where everybody is sitting in the same space or using the same technology at the same time. And there might be a hybrid. So some are face-to-face, some are using a variety of technologies. And so we really want to think about how do we differentiate the learning experiences for adults to best meet the needs of the learners, the goals of the professional learning, the context, and of course the resources, including time, technology, materials that we have available. Our objectives for Module 3 are as follows. So by the end of this week, we're hoping that you'll be able to identify a number of various learning design options and be able to identify the strengths of the different approaches for professional learning, knowing that not every design or every approach will work well for your particular audience or for your particular goals or desired outcomes. And so you're really thinking about how do I take all of the variety of approaches and designs that I could use and tailor it to meet the needs of this particular professional learning experience. The second objective is that you'll be able to explain how an effective educational leader, whether that's a teacher leader or an admin leader, helps to develop teachers and staff members' professional knowledge, skills, and practices through differentiated opportunities for learning and growth, guided by understanding of professional and adult learning and development. So during this particular module, you're going to be engaged in a number of reading and viewing activities, and I think that it would be helpful if we take a look at those. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that we can look at the module together. I know that my module, again, my screen might look a tad bit different than your screen does. And so for Module 3, you're going to be continuing to read our common read, the PLC Plus book, The Better Decisions and Greater Impact by Design by Fisher Frey, Almoraddi, Flores, and Nagel from 2020. And you'll be reading Chapter 3. There's also a video that corresponds with that, a very short video, and I believe it's by Dr. Fisher, about 2 minutes or so, that gives an overview of chapter 3 and the second question that you'll be delving in from that PLC book. You'll also be, let's go ahead and click on the readings and viewing materials. There are a few things that I want to make sure that I highlight for you with regards to this. I'm encouraging you to review the learning designs link from Learning Forward. And so you looked at this at the beginning of the course in Module 1. And so it'll be a really important aspect for you to go back and just review that document, that website. And then there are a number of articles that you're going to, and videos that you're going to have a chance to look at. So the gallery walk was an article that my colleague Jeff Beaudry and I put together for Learning Forward a couple of years back. And it really looks at professional learning around assessment literacy. So using a learning design called the gallery walk. And then we incorporated a pop-up and mini lessons throughout that. So you'll have a chance to read that brief article. There are a couple of videos on EdCamp and Unconference. So you'll have a chance to take a look at those brief videos. And then there's some materials around using lesson studies to really personalize professional development for teachers. And then thinking about teachers observing other teachers and the power of that as a professional development tool, in addition to using the concept of teacher labs. Then, of course, there's the use of technology. So professional learning networks where you might use social media or other online tools. And there are a couple of resources for you that really examine that. And I want to click on this first one here. What is Professional Learning Network? It's an e-course. And so I want to show you what this looks like because I'm asking for you to do steps 1, 2, and 3. So over here on the side, on the right side, you'll see PLN steps, so Professional Learning Network steps. And I'm asking for you to do step 1, what is PLN? What is a PLN? Step 2, making connections. And step 3, using Twitter to build your PLN. Now they have an optional PDF workbook that you certainly can use if you're so inclined, but it's not a necessity. What I would like for you to do is to read through the content, and they have some, many of them have little videos for you to watch that help to explain. So to go through, this is step 1. And they also have little tasks for you to do at the end, which are, so your task, which is completely optional because I'm not asking for you to really do this e-course as a course, but I am looking for you to be able to dive into the notion of a professional learning network and using Twitter as one of the vehicles for doing that. So that's with regards, I wanted to make sure that I showed you what I was talking about for this particular reading. There's a recommended but optional read, which is actually a study that's been done. It combines survey and interviewing around the use of Twitter as a professional development tool and a community of practice for educators. So if you have a little bit of time, that's a wonderful one to read to give you a view into the research behind that. And then I included a video about action research for professional learning. So you're going to see 2 co-teachers that are using action research to guide their practice. So that's the readings and the viewings for this week. Then your assignment for this week is to write a written paper where you're really going to be focused around 2 prompts, where you're going to explain how effective education leaders help develop teachers and staff members professional knowledge and practice through differentiated opportunities for learning and growth, guided by understanding of professional and adult learning and development. So thinking about, okay, so how would you use various learning design modes or approaches in order to effectively plan for professional development? Your discussion for this week will be as follows. So thinking about what you've learned and what you've explored around learning designs I'm asking for you to choose 2 or 3 of them and to discuss on the discussion board what you see from your perspective as their strengths and as their weaknesses. So you could consider things like unconferences, PLCs, book study groups, video clubs, or video courses, courses that you take face-to-face or online or hybrid or in blended format, lesson study groups, peer classroom observation, gallery walks, webinars, teacher labs, use of Twitter or other professional learning networks, in-service trainings, workshops, simulations, action research, analyzing student work or assessment data, co-teaching, and a whole host of other design options that you have at your fingertips. So it's really thinking about choosing 2 or 3 and for you to think about what are the strengths and weaknesses of those approaches. So with that in mind, I hope that you enjoy really exploring all of the options that are available from a learning design standpoint so that you can really think about matching what you know about adult learning, what you know about high quality professional learning standards, and thinking now about all of the differentiated learning design options that you have. So how do you match all of those pieces together with your desired outcomes to really create the richest, most beneficial professional learning experience that you can? So enjoy Module 3. I look forward to reading what you have to say on the discussion boards and also what you have to say on your assignments. Have a wonderful week of learning, everyone. Bye-bye.